Lindsay. Can you briefly talk about the Quiet the Mind, Open Your Heart workshops? We've got listeners from all over the world, not just London and England, but actually from all over the world, from North America, Latin America as well as Asia. So, but for our London listeners and European listeners, what is the Quiet the Mind and Open Your Heart workshops that you've been delivering?
Well, it is actually addressing her question. I share with people the techniques and the ideas that I have found that have exponentially helped my life, helped me have a more peaceful life, a less self-conscious, all of the things that we all have, and we think we're so alone with it, but we all share these dysfunctions and pains that we go through and stresses that I have found in my life. I think the day my life changed so dramatically when I got older. My first shift was when I realized we had the ability to just heal, that we were connected to this amazing life force, and we can just heal and heal things and anything. And psychological healing, I think that defining moment for myself came not till I was in my very early 40s, when I was doing some work with a counselor, and I realized and accepted what she was trying to get through to me, that I am responsible for my feelings about things. People are responsible for their own behavior, but for my feeling about it, and whether or not that continues to hurt me, is about me, and that I have the ability to go in and shift that. So all of the techniques that I learned up to that point, and then subsequently, when I started doing workshops, it was motivated by the fact that I had come into contact with some amazing people that I know most people haven't had the grace to do, and therefore I became motivated to start sharing with people that which has so significantly impacted my life. So it's very experiential. We do a lot of releasing through techniques that I share with you, and several of them, I teach them for you to go and have as your own now, and you can go on about your life with that. I say you go home, you don't go anywhere when you travel without your toothbrush or your, various things. And to me, there's this bag of tricks of constantly releasing things that come up, and in a permanent way. So many of them go away permanently. Many of them can shift permanently. And I would venture to almost say everything could, but I'm not there yet myself. So, but exponentially, there's just, my life changed so much.
It's all a journey, isn't it?
And that's what I pass on in the workshops.
So if you are in London, then and you're listening to the web, you're listening to the interview on the web, all you need to do is click on the link which says Quiet the Heart, Open the Mind workshop. Click on the link and it will take you directly to the booking page. Lindsay will be there on Thursday, 7th of October. Absolutely amazing workshop by the looks of it. I'll be there, that's for sure. And make sure you book now, because the places are going to go. For those of you who are interested in any of Lindsay's workshops, all you do is click onto where it says more about Lindsay Wagner, or if you're listening elsewhere by any other methods other than the web, type in LindsayWagnerInternational.com, LindsayWagnerInternational.com, and I'm guessing it'll be /events, or go into the events page. Now, let's go on to more questions, Lindsay, if that's okay with you.
May I just finish one thing?
Sure, of course.
The London evening is just it's a short version. We won't be going into a lot of the various techniques. We will be focusing on the oneness meditation, the oneness blessing, which is what I was talking about earlier that came from India. Just so as people are not confused when they get there and say, but I thought you were going to teach the tapping. I will be teaching a few of those little techniques that go with that, but I won't be teaching that whole course. We just wouldn't have time in one evening.
Absolutely not. And, one thing, Lindsay, I have to say is actually very, very important, having attended many, many workshops, is I would rather learn a technique, if it's the first time I'm learning it, and master that technique than to learn a whole series of techniques and not be able to apply them once I've left the workshop. So, I certainly recommend, it's certainly worthwhile going to the evening, and if you can make it to the weekend workshops, for sure, go along to that. Now, I don't know if we're going to go through enough questions, but we can extend the time if that's okay with you, Lindsay. We have a question from Jill in West Sussex. She's saying, as a compassionate, caring person, I get angry and feel such sadness when people commit acts of cruelty to others and helpless animals. How can we possibly change such so-called human beings?
Yeah. Well, I always recommend when we're looking at something like that to go back within you and look at what parts about that brings you such pain. The better you understand yourself and your own negative programs that perhaps bring about certain behaviors in you that others would like to maybe change about you, the better and the easier it is to understand and be compassionate with people who are unconscious and in their unconsciousness causing pain to others. So if you were asking me this in a session, for example, I would ask you to start by working on the severity of the pain that you feel through some of the techniques, because a lot of times, and believe me, I understand this one. I have it still at times, but it's much easier for me to continue to be compassionate with a perpetrator as well as a victim today than it was in the past. I've worked with